Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the next episode of the Total Football. We are going to do the Bundesliga Matchday 29 review with lots of happening around this match day in all the games. First of all, before starting with the review, I really want to, rant a bit about how the scheduling has been done for this match day. I mean, DFL can actually do better in scheduling. Mainz versus Freiburg was the last game on Sunday night, and both of the teams are gonna play on Thursday. Crucial knockout, encounters versus Strasbourg and Celta Vigo. Why couldn't be this game shifted earlier? It could have been played on Friday night, on Saturday night. I know logistics would have been involved, but this is something which DFL can do for the clubs, especially the clubs which are deep into the European competitions, which would help only the DFL and the Bundesliga if somehow German clubs are able to notch that second position in the coefficient race. Also, Bayern played the last game on Saturday night as well, which didn't make sense to me as well. It could have been, earlier in the day, or again, it could have been shifted to Friday as well, because Augsburg versus Hoffenheim was the first game, and these two teams they are not playing any European competition. So this really didn't make any sense to me. So do give your thoughts on it. What are your views on it? Can DFL do better in the scheduling, or it's like the business as usual? We cannot expect anything from them. So now coming to the matches which were played. First of all, the first game of the match day 29, Augsburg versus Hoffenheim. Man, I'm really feeling bad for Hoffenheim now. They were in such a beautiful form. I really hope Kramaric and Bowman would be able to play the UCL again, but it doesn't look to be. It doesn't look to be the case. They are on winless streak. They didn't win a game in last four games, and this game as well, Hoffenheim versus Augsburg, they drew. And this is a game again which they could have lost. And like we were talking with Mr. Derek Ray, he said we can expect more blips from Hoffenheim, and he was spot on with that. Hoffenheim was about to lose this game as well had Morris converted his late penalty on that late night game. So the game started with Morris scoring a cracker in 14th, in the like in the 10th minute or so, and then Gregorovic he doubled the lead in 14th minute for Augsburg. It looked a very horrible picture for Hoffenheim, 2-0 down at the start of the first 15 minutes itself. But Haranek he scored one goal back in 35th minute, made it 2-1. Then Toure scored from an improbable angle. I think, guys, you should watch that. You should watch that goal. It was from an absolutely kind of 180-degree angle to the goal, and he still scored from there. It was a nice finish, and then it was very nice finish that was, and then it went 2-2 into the halftime, and after coming back from the half, in the second half, Gregorovic hit the crossbar. And this was just before the halftime as well. Augsburg could have won the lead back again there. It could have been 3-2, but thankfully for Hoffenheim, it remained 2-2, and they still had a chance to mount a comeback win, but not to be. Not many chances was created in the second half, but there was one instance in 80s when Maurice missed a penalty. It could have won the game for Augsburg, and it could have piled more misery on Hoffenheim form, but not to be. So Augsburg and Hoffenheim, they both share the spoils, 1 point each. So I'm kind of feeling sad for Hoffenheim right now. I was expecting them to play UCL, but it doesn't like to be the case right now. So now moving to the Saturday's game, that was Dortmund versus Leverkusen. Uh, so, so Leverkusen are not stopping from their push for the top four race. They need few results to go into their favor, but even with that, uh, they have defeated Dortmund away from home thanks to the only strike in the first half by Andrich. So this was the goal which kind of, I felt that Kobel's sight was blocked. He didn't see that shot coming from outside the box. But that was the only goal. But when the game started, Bade made a very good clearance, a goal line clearance. And after that, in the second half, Kiresi hits the crossbar in the second half. Then Julian Brandt, he came very close to scoring the equalizer at that. And just an interesting trivia, this is the first game in which Dortmund has failed to score a single goal. So they have been scoring at least one goal each this whole season, but this is a game which puts the full stop their record. And also, there is some news coming out from Dortmund's circles. I was reading some of the rumors which are coming through. So it is being said that internally the club is not happy the way Dortmund has performed. Uh, they could have been a lot lower in the league because their recent form has not been good. They have not notched up the wins, as many wins as possible. So the second position in the table could be a bit flattering. I mean, it is a case I can say that, but then these guys drew so many games which they could have won, and this title race could have gone down to the wire as well. So it is, and then Dortmund again, they have there is news that Schlotterbeck has extended his contract, but again in the contract they have given him a 60 million release clause for specific clubs out of Germany, especially for the Spanish clubs where he wants to play. So where does that leave Dortmund with? He's your star player, he's your leader, he's the player who has been performing like anything, and instead of giving him assurances that we are going to build around you, we are going to fight for the league, you just keep on giving the players the release clause which they ask for. And it's very bad. As a Bundesliga fan, I feel very terrible when these things happen, but it is what it is. Cannot do much. We can just express our anguish around the situation. So now moving to the next game. So this game kind of created a history in its own. uh, Heidenheim versus Union Berlin. Heidenheim won 3-1 that game, but that game led to the sacking of their coach Stefan Baumgart, and it instilled a new head coach, the first ever women coach in top five league, first ever women coach in Bundesliga, Marie-Louisa Eta, and she is not new to this job. I could say, like, she has been the assistant manager for Union Berlin, and she did handle a couple of games when Stefan Baumgart was suspended. She was there on the touchlines for them. But being the head coach as a woman, a Champions League winner, a 34-year-old young coach, she was the under 19 coach as well. It's a big, big responsibility. So especially they are just 7 points clear of a relegation right now. Union need few wins in the next 5 games so that they can solidify their position as uh, they can solidify their status in the Bundesliga, so they don't get into relegation, play late in last couple of match days. So this result by Heidenheim, it also gave them, kind of a new life. They were struggling on 14 points like few weeks back. Now suddenly they are on 19 points, and they are just around, I think, 7 points from St. Pauli. They are St. Pauli are on 26 points or so. We'll check it after, we complete the discussion. So if they can spree a winning, run, who knows what happens? Who knows? Heidenheim are able to survive magically in the league. So that's a very, it was a very interesting match from both teams' perspective. One, Heidenheim, getting the crucial win, which could change their status from relegation to staying in Bundesliga. And on the other side, for Union Berlin, Marie-Louisa Eta becoming the coach of Union Berlin. So talking about the game, it was Honsek who scored a brace in the first 36 minutes, which gave 2-0 lead to Heidenheim. And then in the second half, Qualfeld, He scored the goal in a comeback goal, 2-1. It looked like Union can fight back from here, but not to be. When Buru Zivizawade, he scored the winner in 79th minute, a 3-1, which sealed the fate of Baumgart, and it installed a new coach, new women coach. We all would be watching her, and we all wish her success. We really want her to succeed in her assignment which she has been given. So now, with that, moving to our next game, Leipzig, they scored a very crucial win in the top four race for the top four race to stay there and keep knocking those points. Leipzig versus Gladbach. It was a game which only had one goal, which was scored by Diamonde in around 80th minute. It was a cracker of a goal, to be honest. But yes, that's a game. That's a goal which gave them the game. Earlier, Ram made a cross, but it kind of nearly went in. It could have ended up in the goal, but it hit the crossbar. And then Castrops, he was on a 1-1 situation from the Glaba side, but goalkeeper saved it. Then Romelu had a close range effort, but Glaba's keeper Nicolas, he saved the goal. And then Diamonde, he scored that cracker in 80th minute, and then Stoger, who came as a late substitute, he nearly scored the equalizer. He hit the post, which came as a rebound, and then Tabakovic, he tried to put the rebound again in the goal, but it was a goal line clearance from Leipzig, and Leipzig escaped with a 1-0 very crucial victory for their top four race endeavors. And now moving to our next game, Wolfsburg versus Frankfurt. Man, Wolfsburg doesn't look like a team right now. It's a very broken unity type of team, no chemistry. They keep the ball, they create the chances, but it is not falling off. It is not falling off for them, and the wheels are falling off for their Bundesliga campaigns. They really look like a team which could be going down. They are looking very bad at this point of time. 5 games to go. Not too sure if they can. What can they do to survive in the Bundesliga? So basically, this game as well, they kept the ball early, they created the chances, but those chances they didn't convert. And then Hoyland with the first chance, he scored a stunner in 21st minute, and then Kelly Muendu, it was a dead ball situation in around 32 minute. The ball was floated in, and then it was deflected from Gabara, I believe, or one of the defenders of Wolfsburg, and it fell to Kalimundo, and it completely, pulled out a trigger and put it back off net. So it was 2-0 lead for them going into the halftime. And then in second half, it was not much which was happening. But Pizajanovic, he scored a late, what to say? I mean, 90 plus 7, the game was done 2-1. It didn't bear any, major results on the game. So it was a 2-1 victory for Frankfurt. And with this victory, Frankfurt are inching closer to their, sealing that UEFA Conference League spot. So they are in a good shape for that, but pressure is building on them as well from Freiburg on that position. So now moving to Sunday's game, Cologne versus Bremen. Cologne got a big 3 points from Billy Goats versus their direct rival for the race to survival were the Bremen. Almala scored an early penalty in 7th minute, and then Friedel got a red card. It did look a red card. It was a last man challenge. It was not a challenge, but it was indeed the hindrance on the striker, so it had to be the red card. And then the chances kept on mounting for Cologne. I think overall Cologne had an XG of around 4 or 4 plus in the total in whole of the game, but they didn't convert those chances, which really felt at one point of time that it could haunt them. But Ake, he doubled the lead in 54th minute. But Ake was in a mix of things on his defensive end as well. He considered a penalty to Bremen, which Schmidt, he dispatched it very clinically, made it 2-1, and Bremen were mounting the pressure on Cologne, but they were not able to get that goal, which was necessary for that equalizer. And by a 90 plus 7 at that, Johansson's cross, it got deflected from Buckhouse into the goal. It was OG by Buckhouse, a Cologne victory, 3-1. Big 3 points for them in the race to survival. Moving to the next game, Stuttgart versus Hamburg. Hamburg are again on a winless streak. So they were absolutely thrashed by Stuttgart in this game, and their winless streak gets extended, and they continue to get stuck on 31 points, which is very close to that danger zone. I was listening to the commentary in the game. 31 points is a list of points on which they got relegated 7 years ago. So it's looking dangerous for them as well. They have to get a crucial 1 or 2 victories in the next 5 games to survive in the Bundesliga. Coming back to Stuttgart, they scored a crucial victory of Hamburg, crucial 3 points, which lift them above Leipzig in the table on the basis of goal difference. Stiller opened the scoring from a beautiful pass. Hendricks gave a line-breaking pass to Undaf, and then Undaf gave a pass to. He had a poor touch, but he turned back and he gave a very beautiful pass to Leveling, and it was Leveling who did the damage. He made a beautiful cutback, which opened. Stiller gave a huge space to them, and Stiller scored the second goal of his campaign, I believe, which gave them 1-0 lead. And then Furich, again, a build-up mess up by Hamburg from the back. It was an error by them, which Furich pounced upon, and he made it 2-0. And then in the second half, Middlestedt made it 3-0. It was a deflected goal, but who cares? It was a goal after all. And then Thiago Thomas, around 79th minute, he was fouled in the box, and Undaf missed that penalty. But prior to taking the penalty, there was a scuffle between him. I forgot the player from the Hamburg side. It was Capaldo, I believe, and he got a yellow. And that yellow meant he's gonna miss that crucial derby versus Bayern Munich, the Southern Star derby, next Sunday at 9 p.m. IST. So he missed a goal, and on to rub to his wounds, he's gonna miss that crucial endeavor versus Bayern Munich next Sunday. But El Canus, he scored a deflected goal. It gave them their 4 goals to Stuttgart, lifted their GD to plus 22 against plus 20 to Leipzig, and they are on third position right now. So now moving to the next game, Freiburg versus Mainz. This was a lull game, to be honest. Nothing much was happening in this game, and there's only goal of the game which came in the second half, around 54th minute or so, I believe, which Heuler scored from a very good Matthias Ginter's layoff, and it sealed the points. It looked like both the teams are preserving their energy for the crucial Thursday encounter, and this is why I did that rant at the start of the show. Why was this terrible scheduling not corrected? We really hope from DFL they keep in mind about these things. These are very crucial factors, very crucial points. When the teams are playing in Europe, they need proper rest before going into those knockouts, especially when they are leading the games, and they need to rest their players. They need to give the proper rehab to the players before they play their next games. And both the teams, Freiburg and Mainz, they both are playing away from home in the UECL and the UEL respectively. So I really hope these things are kept in mind by DFL. So having said that, now the last game of the match day, a game which broke the 54 years old standing record. Records are getting shattered by this team, and like from our conversation with Mr. Directly, he said this team he rates it very, very, very highly. It's, if not the best, he said, it's one of the best teams of Bayern Munich. So Bayern won the game 5-0. It was a rotated side versus St. Pauli. So sadly Odyssey had to start because of the Carl's injury. But apart from that, Vincent Company tried to rest the main attackers, the main players. So the first goal, the record equalizer goal came from Jamal Musiala in the ninth minute, where he scored a very beautiful header from the Konrad Lammers cross, which equalized the record of 1971-72 team. But by end of the match, we scored one of five goals in by 29 match days, and we are scoring on 3.5 goals per game, which keeps us, I won't say just in pace, but we have a chance to break that record of Jose Mourinho's side of 2011-2012, which he set with Real Madrid back then. 38 games, 121 goals. Torino's record was in 40 games. They scored 125 goals, I think, back in 1947 and 48. But this Real Madrid goal record, I think we can break that. What do you think? Do give your review about it. And the third record holders are again Real Madrid. It's again, I think, Jose Mourinho's side. If I'm not, I could be wrong about that. It could Carlo Ancelotti or Jose Mourinho. One of them was a coach. I don't, because I don't remember the year. I just remember the record. So that's another record which we can target. And then next records are held by Pep Guardiola sides and Luis Enrique's treble winning squad with Barcelona as well. So what do you think? I think we should target to break those records now. It is about time, eh? We are Bayern Munich. We need to get into those record list, high on those record list. We have a disadvantage of playing 4 games lesser, but we can thrash some sides and get and closer to those records set by Barcelona and Real Madrid sides. So now coming back to the game, like I mentioned, Musiala scored from a header, which equaled the 101 goal record of Bayern Munich's the 1971-72 side. And then in the first half, didn't much happen. But then Leon Goretzka scored a beautiful volley, I think with his left foot, in 53rd minute, which broke that record, which gave that record to the current Bayern Munich side of 2025 and 2026 season. So after that, they in the very next minute, there was a build-up mistake by Saint Pauli from the back, which Olise pounced upon, and he scored. He made it 3-0 in 54th minute. Somehow, I don't know why Saint Pauli were playing with the ego, or I'm not too sure. Why would you keep on playing from the back versus Bayern Munich side, which is so good at pressing? And they made the same mistake in 65th minute when they were again rubbed up of the ball, and then Musiala gave a very pretty pass to Jackson, who converted, made it 4-0 by 65th minute. And then in 88th minute, Rafa Guerrero, he scored the fifth goal for Bayern Munich. It was again the same mistake from St. Pauli, build-up mistake from the back, and we pounced on it. But one particular topic which I want to touch upon, one youngster who made his debut in this game, Ndiaye from Senegal. Man, what an impressive debut that guy had. He was breaking that press of St. Pauli. He had very good recoveries. He won his maximum number of duels in the 12 minutes which he played on. So let me try to pull out the stats. I am very interested in discussing about that. I really tweeted about it as well because I was very impressed by it. It looked very huge, when we saw him playing. Yeah, so he had 7 duels, out of which he won 6 of his duel. He had 5 carries. He had 3 successful dribbles. He had 3 dribbles, and all of 3 were successful. He made 1 tackle, and he made 1 recovery as well. And this is just in the 12-minute span. And with title really looking sealed at this point of time, I believe he should be getting more game time. We really need to have a look at him, and if he actually is as promising as it looked from his debut, then I do think we should keep him for the main season, the next season, and maybe since we are not planning to buy any big midfielder, then I think we can rely on this kid, and who knows what he could become for us. It could be a huge asset for us, and it could save us some money as well, which would turn out to be very crucial, given the finances which we have been dealing with. And the title, the Master Shala, it really looks like we have one hand on it. With Dortmund's defeat, I believe we are mathematically around 4 points away in the next 5 games to win the title, which is a huge plus. But we have two trophies to play for. Both the trophies which we have not won since 2020. One is DFB Pokal, for which we are playing the semi-final versus them away from home next week, and then the big game versus Real Madrid. We are playing for a trophy with 2 big years, which we really want to hold right now. It's about time. But we have to, first of all, tackle Real Madrid at home. We have a very slender 1 goal lead. We cannot mess that up. That's very, very. We know Real Madrid, how they turn up on the big UCL nights. We cannot really underestimate them, and we have to make sure we get our chances and we are able to score on those chances, because we cannot be missing those chances, or else it would be very tough on us. We cannot be making those mistakes. So Xiaomini is suspended for them, but apart from that, I think Thibaut Courtois and Rodrigo are the other 2 injuries. Apart from that, they have a full team fit, and we have to make sure we make this opportunity count, and we take the big stride towards the UCL semifinals, which could be either against PSG or Liverpool. Right now, PSG are leading versus Liverpool 2-0, and they are also playing away from home versus Liverpool. But that is a game for next day, once we are able to win on Wednesday night. This is a big match. We have to play very carefully. So Real Madrid might have sensed the blood when they started to press us, and our team was struggling in that counter press. So we have to make sure that weakness of us is covered, and we are able to make use of the chances which come by us. And this opportunity, it cannot be let slide by. We have to make it count, no matter what happens. This is the team which is flowing, has a great chemistry, and this is the opportunity to steal for us, and we have to do it. We will, the 12th man of FC Bayern Munich, we will be behind our team. So let's see how it goes. So now the last part of our review, the table discussion and match day 30 discussion. So now at top of the table, the gap is very huge, 12 points with 5 games to go. It looks improbable right now. So, but Dortmund looks like they have sealed the second position for themselves. But number 3, 4, 5 is only, the difference between them is just 4 points. And Stuttgart play versus us next weekend. So that's a huge matchup in the race for top 4 for the UCL race. That's a big match. And then Leverkusen and Leipzig are on 50. Leipzig on 56, and Leverkusen are on 52 points each. And then Hoffenheim, like I mentioned, they are a big blip in their form, which is costing them right now, and they are on 51 points at 6th position. So let's see what matches they are playing. So Leverkusen is playing versus Augsburg. Leipzig are playing a tough game as well away from home versus Frankfurt. Albert Riera size is also trying to notch that place of UECL. So that's a big game as well. And Stuttgart, like I mentioned, they are playing versus us, Bayern Munich, on Sunday night, 9 p.m. And then Freiburg, they got a big win versus Mainz, a battle between 8 and 9. So Freiburg would be playing versus Heidenheim. Heidenheim have scored a lot of goals recently, so let's see if they can trouble Freiburg, who are sitting on 8th position with 40 points. And then the next team is Mainz and Augsburg. They are on 33 points each, on ninth and 10th position. Then it's Union Berlin at 32 points. So if you see the difference between 33 points and St. Pauli, which is 16th on 25 points, mathematically, even they are not safe yet. So the difference is only of like around 8 points, which can swing either way. But there's a lot of teams in that zone, like Union are on 32 points, Hamburg on 31. Hamburg play a derby versus Bremen, which is very, very crucial for both the teams. Bremen are also struggling, Hamburg are also struggling. Then the next big game in the race to survival is St. Pauli are hosting Cologne on Friday night. That is a late night game. According to IST, it starts at 12 a.m. So that's a big, big game for both the teams. Then the second game, like I mentioned, Bremen versus Hamburg, that's a huge game as well. And Hoffenheim are hosting Dortmund as well, so that's an interesting game as well. Wolfsburg, whom are they playing? Wolfsburg are playing away to Union Berlin, so that would be the debut match for the new coach, Miss Etta. So let's see how she does in that game. So our eyes will be on that game as well. So it's a big match day. Match day 30 is a big match day with two crucial uh, relegation battling sides, matches, like four teams involved in that, and then Stuttgart versus Bayern Munich for the top four race, and Eintracht Frankfurt versus Leipzig. That's again a big match when we look from the perspective of top four race. So it's getting all spiced up for the end of the season for Bundesliga. So let's see what happens, and we are hoping for yet another interesting match day. Till then, Mia San Mia, and keep supporting the German teams in the European races, in the European games. It's Bayern versus Madrid on Wednesday, and then on Thursday it's Salta Vigo versus Freiburg and Strasbourg versus Mainz. Keep an eye on those games as well, and keep backing those games. Bye bye. Thank you.